All right, in this video, I have a new pair from Asics. This is the Asics NovaBlast 4. This is the latest and greatest model of the NovaBlast lineage, and I've been wearing them for the last week or so before I did the review, and I do realize that this is obviously a casual channel. It's not a performance or running review by any means, but it is nice to be able to wear the shoes for a little bit just to see how they feel overall and how they are from a casual, if you can casual these shoes or not. Because running shoes I find are very interesting because there's such a wide range of people that wear running shoes. There's people like myself that wear them casually, there's people that wear them daily, and then there's those people that only wear them for running. And so my view, as you guys probably know already, is just from the casual. Can you wear these casually? Can they be like everyday sort of runners or not? And I feel like the NovaBlast line has done a pretty good job like evolving its way across, making it a really good running shoe, but also something that you can use on a casual basis. So the retail is now 140 on this pair, and it is very similar to the previous pair. As you can see here, I have the 3s here. The midsole is the biggest yet on the 4s. The 3s was pretty big as well, but the 4s again take things to the next level. There's some similarities between the previous version and the new version, and I'll get into that in just a little bit here. The weight of the NovaBlast 4 is 9.2 ounces, so not the lightest options out there, but definitely not the heaviest. It's really a nice weight. Feels very, very light on feet. From the website, it says NovaBlast 4 running shoes feature new midsole and outsole geometry that help produce an energized ride. A tongue wing construction with the upper helps improve the fit while reducing tongue movement. It's complemented with an engineered woven upper that offers more stretch, ventilation, and durability. FF Blast Plus Eco Cushioning is made up with 20% recycled bio-based content. This material helps create softer landings and more energized toe-off during your training. It has an AHAR rubber outsole. Trampoline-inspired design helps provide more responsive bounce. It also does feature a gusseted tongue as well, so it is attached halfway down and then detached at the top. So my overall impressions of the shoe, like first thing right out of the box, right on feet, it feels good. I mean, it's a comfortable shoe for sure. It is pretty soft on feet as well. Like if you're wearing a pair of Chuck Taylors or something like that, or Jordan 1s or Jordan 3s, this thing is amazingly soft comparison to something like that. I do have a New Balance 1080 V13 out here for comparison. I know this is a more expensive model, $25 more at $165, but just giving you a heads up, these are much softer on feet in comparison to the NovaBlast, which is interesting because the NovaBlast stack is much higher, but that could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on what you like. If you like softer and squishier, this is definitely softer and squishier. If you want something with more responsiveness, then I feel like the NovaBlast is probably going to be offering more responsiveness, since that is kind of like the thing that they're touting. Fresh Foam X from New Balance is not the technology for responsiveness. Fuel Cell is, and I'll have some comparisons and stuff later in the video. Any which way, I like the overall upper construction. The knit, the way that they have like the waves over the toe box is a nice addition. It adds like a little bit of reinforcement, it looks like there. Also, they changed up the Asics logo on the side of the shoe. Is much more pronounced. It kind of had a little bit of a blurry look previously, and now it's very obvious this is an Asics shoe. One of my favorite details in the Asics shoes is the liner. I feel like it's probably the best liners from the running shoes that I've tried. I just like the look of it, the feel of it. It's nice and soft, silky looking. They also made a small improvement from the previous version, and they made it a little bit of a higher horn on the back of the heel, but they also added a loop here, easier to put on your feet with that. From the previous version, the tongue is a little bit softer as well. The material, they use like a neoprene material instead of whatever they used in the previous one. It is definitely softer on feet, which some people are going to like this version more than the previous version. I will say, however, I don't really like the tongue on the NovaBlast. It's just a little bit too flimsy. For me, I like something a little bit more puffy and something easier to slide on your feet. Every time I try to slide these on one-handed, the tongue gets pushed down inside the shoe. Obviously, if I wasn't being lazy, it's not an issue. You can just hold the tongue and just put the shoe on. But man, sometimes I'm in a hurry. Got to get the kids out the door and get them to school and stuff. And then these are not the go-to because of it. It's just a little bit more difficult to get on. Some people are going to be like, dude, I don't get that. But hands-free options or ones that you can slide on sometimes are the best and sometimes the most worn because of that. That being said, the overall structure of the tongue, once you have it on, feels really good. The fact that it is gusseted, the fact that it's like a lot softer than previous makes it a really nice pair once you have them on feet. Now, where the shoe definitely shines is the midsole. The geometric shape of the midsole, I love the constant evolution of this. It looks really sleek. It looks very futuristic. Also, the NovaBlast 4 feels a little bit wider across the toe box section from the 4th than the 3rd. Like the midsole rubber sticks out so much further on both sides. It's kind of crazy on the NovaBlast 4. The outsole traction and the placement of the traction on the bottom of the shoe, it feels pretty good overall. And overall, this is a really solid pair of sneakers that you can wear casually. It's obviously your running sneaker. I'd say the stack height might be a little bit too big for like people that want to lift weights in it and stuff like that. But if you're just casually walking around, need something to walk through Disney parks and need something to go to the grocery store, need something to walk around the park and everything, this is a really solid option. So overall stability of the shoe, I'd probably give it like a 7.5 rating. It's not the most stable overall because of how big the stack height is. I didn't feel like I was going to roll an ankle or anything, but it is a little bit unstable just because of the overall nature of the shoe. Breathability, I would give it probably an 8 out of 10. It's breathable. It's not the most breathable. Traction, I would give it probably an 8 out of 10 as well. It's pretty decent, but you can have shoes that have a lot more traction on the bottom of the shoe. Overall comfort, I'd say, is probably an 8.5 out of 10. Like, it's pretty darn good. Like, it's not softest and squishiest. Overall, it has a really nice feel on feet and something you can wear and just feel comfortable in. It's a really comfortable shoe from a casual perspective, but obviously it has that responsiveness in mind. So this is going to be one of those shoes that you can actually wear casually, but it seems like you can probably run pretty well in these as well and probably pick up the pace because of the responsiveness that they tout in this model. The best feature on the shoe has to be the midsole. I feel like it definitely is something that has been constantly improved on and really, really good in this model. The worst feature for me personally, again, it's a personal thing, is the tongue. I just don't like the overall shape of the tongue. But other than that, it's a pretty exceptional shoe for that $140 price point. So is it worth buying for $140? Yes, I would say. If you're interested in trying the latest and greatest version, you've had the NovaBlast 2, maybe you want to step it up, the 4 is definitely better than the 2. Is it worth paying $140 for these versus the maybe $110 that you can get the previous version for? I would say personally, you'd be better off if really money is tight and you just want to try out the NovaBlast. If you can get the late model, it's not a bad deal. The overall shape of the shoe is very, very similar. The overall feeling on feet is very similar as well because of the same technology in the midsole. It's a little bit bigger, a little bit more comfortable in the newer version, but it's not so much of a difference that you're like, oh, I should have spent the extra $40 on the latest and greatest version. If you're a bargain hunter and you can get these for under 110, even more power to you. As a couple alternatives for you from the New Balance side, I would definitely recommend the 1080 V13. From a casual perspective, these things are beasts. They're so soft and squishy on feet. It was weird trying these on next to each other. I would have assumed that the NovaBlast 4 felt softer, but when I put these on, I was like, oh yeah, there's no contest. It felt softer in the heel. It felt softer through the forefoot of the shoe. The whole heel to toe transition is just crazy soft and squishy. $165 on these, and I would say that you can't go with the 1080 V12. You'd have to go with the 13. The 13 is much, much softer than the 12s. So yes, you can get the later model, but if you want softer and squishier than these, then get the 13s. If you want something that is a little bit more price conscious, I would say that the most bang for the buck at this point from me recording this video is the New Balance Fuel Cell Rebel V3 for $65. I found those over at Foot Locker. Not a great colorway, but if you really want a comfortable pair of shoes, a late model pair, because the V4s are going to be coming out of those very, very soon. And for the Rebel V3s, I say it's the most bang for the buck because it's lighter than this shoe. It has a nice soft feel underfoot. I would say softer overall than these, even though it has a lower stack. Just for some reason, the fuel cell is super squishy in those, and it is more breathable. So more breathable, more lightweight, pretty soft as well, just not as high of a stack. Really a lot of bang for the buck for $65 over there with the Rebel V3. That's my 2 cents. But leave a comment in the comment section. What do you guys think about the Asics NovaBlast V4? I think it's a tremendous shoe. $140, unfortunately, is the retail on them, but really definitely a solid offering from Asics. And I do have a review coming of the Gel Nimbus 26s because I did order a pair. I want to get those. Also, my wife got the Gel Kano 30s. She actually is going to be running in those, and she's going to be running like a half marathon in those. But I wanted her to do a review on those shoes. So hopefully she'll be able to do that on the channel very soon. Overall, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think about these. If you guys want to buy a pair, I'll link them in the description. If you guys want to buy the Rebel V3s on sale for $65, I'll link those as well as my favorites, the 1080 V13s. But thank you guys for stopping by and watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have more feedback or input that you want to leave in the comment section, feel free to do so. Hopefully we'll see you back on the channel for some more content soon. All right, peace guys.